All right, I think we're live. Sports fans, what's going on? Patrick over here at Ghost Picks ATS coming at you with a free NBA DFS lineup. We are getting back to it. 2 nights ago, we had the big lineup, almost cash in the top 10 out of big time money. Yesterday, we got caught in the exact same thing that I always warn people about. Always check your lineup right before tip off and make sure everyone is playing. You never know with the NBA. And sure enough, yesterday, Giannis Antetokounmpo 10 minutes before the game for undisclosed reasons was ruled out. So that's something always got to keep an eye on, especially with this NBA DFS. So I always say to proceed with caution. But we will be getting into that. Some talking points today. The PBR Special, that's the big one. It's going off here at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That'll be our first play of the weekend for both Rich and I. We are running a $69 special. You get all of our plays from Friday through Sunday. This is one of these packages. Neither Rich nor I put out a ton of plays. We are very select with what we do, so we thought it'd be a good pairing to get us together. So it's not a ton of plays, but all of our top tier action for the weekend for only $69. The link will be in the description. Clicked after this video. Still can't figure out how to do that, but it's available at ghostpicksats.com. All premium site stuff is available there. We'll also have a couple minutes for the stock market today. I'm over here kicking cameras. We will have a moment for that and talk about a couple things that I am into as far as running my numbers. During COVID, when there were no sports, I picked up the stock market. It is almost identical to gambling. So I'll be talking about that every once in a while. And if you're not, interested in that part of the section, it will be the second one. So you can kind of skip through it. But if you are, it's pretty damn good insight. I am not a financial advisor. I did not go to school for finance. I went for numbers. Numbers, finance, they go together. So everything I do is pattern based essentially. But use my models for coding and whatnot to help predict stock market moves. Right now, it's been a clear red day, but still made a lot of green. So there's moves to be made. As far as NBA DFS, we will get into that in just a little while. That tips off at 7 p.m., so I'll have that through before this video ends. Max latest, like 6:25, 18-minute video at the latest. We'll get in, we'll get out, and we'll get on our way. The main thing for here is to promote this PBR special. Over the last 11 plays, Rich is 8-3, or over the last 12, he is 9-3, and then I am 8-2 over my last 10. And even that goes with just keeps on trucking. So we have plays going off at 7 p.m. And if you want, the card is available for only $69, and that will get you all the way through the weekend. And if you do it, always I'll throw in a Monday pick as well, just because the Monday is the weekend. It needs to be. So no problems there. Let's see PBR special, $69 in the link. You can see it right here. Boom. NBA DFS. We'll go ahead and get into that before we do anything else, because I'm sure not many people want to be dabbling too much into the stock market. I mean, this is a show for a reason. But on these Fridays, you saw a day like today where it was absolutely bloody in the market. That's kind of stuff. A lot of people affected. So finding ways to make money on that, it's not too much different than sports betting. I can tell you that right now. It is a lot of following money trends and some principles. So we'll get on into that here in a little bit. First, we're going to go right on into NBA DFS, talk about a couple of these guys today, some of the key injuries that we will be maneuvering around, and how we can maybe take advantage of them. So the big question mark today, a lot of these guys at the top, the high-priced guys over 10 grand, they are all facing difficult matchups. Ones where the defense will be focusing in on them, or they've been off for multiple days. So I don't like teams that have been off for more than 2 days. They usually get off to slow starts. It's just something that it's a weird thing. Having 1 day off isn't like a perfect recipe, perfect amount of time, not too much to get out of the loop. So with that in mind, this Boston-Utah game is something, it's an interesting one to kind of take advantage of. I think Jaylen Brown being out is one of the bigger injuries of the day, and that is one, you're looking for 35 minutes to be replaced, essentially. Also, I think the bigger thing is on the defensive end. I think Jason Tatum will be able to step it up, but I don't think he's quite worth it to go as far as to pick him up in DFS today, especially in Utah. I usually like going for bench players or something like that who don't need a high ceiling. or a high floor either in case it is a blowout. So my two top guys today, I'm not going for anybody over 10,000, which is a little bit rare. I don't normally do this, but I see value at these guys that are going to consistently get at least 5 times their worth and leading the way at the top in a night where I feel like a lot of people are going to have Steph, a lot of people are going to have Luka, and we're mainly looking to fade those guys. So obviously Steph at home is damn near lock just about every night, but going up against CP3, he's a pesky old little fucker. I think this might be the end of the Suns' win streak, but never count them out. They just are absolutely scrappy. And with Devin Booker out, that turns into a defensive team even more so. I wouldn't be surprised to see Mikal Bridges step onto Steph Curry. And if that's the case, that is a huge benefit to anybody who doesn't have Stephen Curry in fantasy basketball. So that one is – tonight's a big question mark. There's no doubt about that. Less confident. There's not that many injuries, huge injuries to play off of. One in particular that I think so I'm usually taking stars or guys, role players that are going to be increasing their minutes. I'm actually going the opposite direction tonight, and I am taking opponents facing backups who can take advantage of the matchup. So normally I would never take Domantas Sabonis against Bam Adebayo. He's a good matchup. Bam can stretch the floor, play defensively at the three-point line, and do just about everything he needs to do as far as guarding Sabonis 1-for-1. You put Dedmon out there. I think Sabonis has a phenomenal matchup tonight, and the way that you guard Dedmon, he's liable to get 20 rebounds tonight. Sabonis is on the road. So I look for Sabonis to lead the way. Actually, he's my top dog tonight. I'm needing 50-plus out of Sabonis, which I don't think is too much to ask for, especially given no Bam Adebayo on the defensive end. I wouldn't be surprised to see the offense run through them, pull Dedmon away from the goal a little more, and see Sabonis flirt with the triple-double tonight. If that is a prop that you're interested in, I would not hate a little sprinkle if you find that one for anything over like plus 350 on this given night. Donovan Mitchell scares me a little bit. I'm not going to lie, not one bit. He is at home, and Utah Jazz at home are one of the best teams in the NBA. And every once in a while, you're liable for a blowout. I think Boston with Jason Tatum and this gang, they'll be scrappy, picking up the pace tonight. Replace minutes with Josh Richardson, so they're not too big of a miss with ball in his hands more, and he is much more efficient than Jaylen Brown. But let's see. Wrapping out our lineup, I'm going once again. Until his price changes, I'll be taking him every single night. Jared Allen for the Cleveland Cavaliers. He is about as consistent as it gets. He is $8,000. He sits there every single day, $8,000, and he gets 45 points. At least 40 points fantasy wise, which is 5 times, and that is the goal. That is what you're looking for. If everybody gets 5 times your price, whatever, in points, you're looking good. And if your top guy goes off, then you're looking into the big money. It's really that simple. You'll see a couple of the guys actually similar to the other night. I'm not afraid to go back to them. It's really until DraftKings or whoever adjusts their number. So for I'm just looking now. My number on Dwayne Dedmon is incorrect. My projection is 30,029. That is clearly wrong. 30.29, I guess, was that number. But even that, so that's the projection for him. He went for 40 the other night. If he goes for 40, you're talking big time upside. And then Chris Duarte, obviously he didn't go off for us the other night. He only had 17 fantasy points. But once again, with those guys priced down there, we're looking for opportunities. He played 35 minutes. He got up plenty of shots. He'll most likely be being guarded by Duncan Robinson or one of those, Tyler Hero, a less physical guard. I imagine that Jimmy Butler will be elsewhere, so that's an important matchup to take advantage of. And then going back to one of my favorite plays as far as fantasy basketball goes, you got to fade sometimes just the worst teams, and that would be the Houston Rockets. I know that Orlando is bad. Orlando-Houston is probably the bad matchup of the night, but Wendell Carter is one of those guys. He's a decent NBA vet. He's been playing some pretty good minutes with Suggs, a couple of the guards, a very similar situation to Jared Allen. not that he's directly taking those guards minutes, but when they have less guys to play the 3 and the 4, it kind of just shifts up a little bit. So he gets a couple more minutes, a little more opportunity against a bad defense. So Wendell Carter wraps out that lineup with a couple of the low dogs, Josh Richardson, Dorian Finney-Smith. Both those guys, you get 2 points for steals and blocks. Those are guys long, lengthy, should get an increase in minutes because of a couple of players being out for both teams. So you're not looking for too much, about 20 fantasy points out of both of them. Josh Richardson is definitely the longest shot of the day, even though he's 3,800. Oh, yeah, 3,800 is the cheapest one. He hasn't been playing much this year. This is only his 3rd game being back, but they've had a couple days off, and with no Jaylen Brown, no better time for him to do his thing. He's been getting his fair share of shots up, so this is the lineup I will be going with tonight. If anybody has any questions or anything, fantasy-wise, or once again, I'm winging this one. Haven't seen if this is up and running. It's up and running. Yeah, so if anybody has anything or any questions. If not, I'm going to be wrapping this up probably here within the next 5 to 10 minutes or so. I'm going to have a couple speaking points on the stock market here. I'd save that to the end and then wrap it back up with the big special and maybe even a little $5 off coupon, something to get it for $65, just because. Good for you. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we can find something for you. But getting back into it, so NBA DFS, this is the lineup for today. As far as the PBR Special, that is me, Patrick, and Rich. We are doing a duo package this weekend. Neither one of us uses a lot of plays at all. We're very select each week. And with that being said, you'll get all of our plays, both of our plays separately and combined for the weekend on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and Monday as well for myself, Monday Night Football play. So, $69, can't beat it. And you also get, all my DFS as well. That's not technically in the package, but if anything with NFL, if you're interested in that, you can shoot me an email, and I'll definitely get you the NFL DFS for free, just as a thank you. Yeah, so stock market. Now, at this point, I'll cut it off if you're not into anything like this. But if you are, I will start coming on here and do a different section of Ghost Picks Patrick. I'm going to have just like a little stock channel, and it's going to be a personal thing. This is going to be live streaming during the day, probably while watching the stock market move. So, next week, Monday through Friday, we'll see whether it be like an hour during the day, 10 to 11, a nice buying time or closing time, 2 to 3 in the stock market. We'll be talking about some things that I do. I'm not anything big. I trade options just for shits. I think it's very similar to sports betting and tracking money and, having models and understandings of certain disciplines. I'm not a financial advisor, so that is always the number one thing. I will lead off every single video until the end of time with that. I went to school. I got my bachelor's in statistics. I got my master's in sports analytics. So I feel 100% more than confident, never having to say anything. I'm confident about sports. I've put in my due time to, most of the advice on here is well backed. But as far as the stock market goes, that is raw belief in just a, friends, whatever. It's just big brain. Use my brain for more than just sports, tunnel vision. During the COVID, I got into the stock market and, took some classes, did a lot of discipline on my own. And with that being said, had a absolutely, monster day today. But it's been a big couple of weeks for myself in the stock market. I've really getting into options trading and fading essentially the public. So you see some COVID stocks out there that are booming during COVID. So there's a couple that were listed over the past month. The big one today, I had put on DocuSign, and that was a monster winner. That stock dropped over like $75, and if you could only imagine, that was paid out like 50 to 1. So that was a huge day there. But it's been the same. Zoom and Beyond Meats and all these stocks. There's certain stocks, I'm a direct pattern. I love patterns. It's the same thing as sports. Really, you find certain patterns, whether it's support or whatnot. So I have my computer